Good evening, Jamaica, and welcome back to the channel. I need you to listen to this closely because what is happening in the waters of our neighbor, Trinidad and Tobago, is an absolute shocker, and it impacts all of us in the Caribbean. A U.S. military strike in the southern Caribbean Sea, part of the war on drugs, has reportedly killed 6 people. Among the dead are 2 Trinidadian nationals. The U.S. calls them narco-terrorists and claims it was a necessary hit on a drug vessel. But the families? They are calling it wickedness. They are calling it murder. They are calling it a war crime. Tonight, we break down what happened, why the Prime Minister of Trinidad is supporting these strikes, and why this military action so close to our borders is something every Jamaican needs to be worried about. The incident we're talking about is the latest in a series of highly aggressive military strikes the United States has been carrying out in the Caribbean Sea, claiming the goal is to combat drug trafficking, particularly from Venezuela. According to the U.S., this vessel, which left from the coast of Venezuela, was loaded with narcotics and tied to what they call narco-terrorist networks, like the notorious Tren de Aragua gang. U.S. President Donald Trump himself said the strike was carried out in international waters and was a message to the cartels. Now, for those wondering, why blow up the boat instead of just stopping it? U.S. officials have basically said the strategy is to send a clear message. We are not here to interdict. We are here to destroy the operation entirely. It is a lethal, kinetic strike. But here is where the story gets really heavy, and where the controversy ignites. The U.S. says they killed narco-terrorists. But back home in Trinidad, the community of Las Cuevas is mourning. The 2 confirmed Trinidadians have been identified as Chad Joseph and Rishi Samaru. Joseph's mother, Lenore Burnley, speaking to the media, was heartbroken. She flatly rejected the claims that her son was a drug trafficker and lamented, "The sea law is, they supposed to stop the boat and intercept it, not blow it up like that." Her family is left with no body for burial, only reports of his death. And here is the biggest division in the region: the families and fishermen. Many citizens and local fishermen are terrified. They are worried their fishing vessels will be mistaken for drug boats, and they, too, will be blown out of the water. They question the U.S. right to be judge, jury, and executioner in the Caribbean Sea. The Trinidadian Prime Minister. But Trinidad and Tobago's Prime Minister, Kamla Persad-Bissessar, has given her full support to the U.S. She has been quoted as saying she has no sympathy for traffickers, and that the U.S. military should kill them all violently. She argues that the drug trade brings murder and despair to her nation, and this is a necessary war. This is a dangerous split because it asks the question, at what cost do we fight the drug war? So why does this matter to us in Kingston, Montego Bay, or Mandeville? First, this is not just a Trinidadian problem. This is a CARICOM problem. The U.S., a major foreign power, is conducting lethal military strikes on our doorstep. The Caribbean has always maintained that this is a zone of peace. This American military strategy fundamentally undermines that position. Second, the question of sovereignty is key. The U.S. is acting unilaterally. While we all want to stop the flow of guns and drugs that fuel Jamaica's violence, does the U.S. have the right to conduct executions on boats near our borders without regional consensus? Venezuela has protested, and other CARICOM leaders have expressed concern about the militarization of our waters. We have to ask, if they can do this to a vessel near Trinidad, what about a boat near Port Antonio? This situation forces a tough conversation. We are grateful for any support that stops the flow of illegal guns and drugs, but a process where the U.S. military acts as judge and executioner, potentially killing our own Caribbean citizens, even those involved in crime, without an attempt at interception, trial, or due process. that is a slippery slope. The families of the dead men are demanding justice. Venezuela is crying murder. And Trinidad's government is cheering the deaths. What is Jamaica's position on this? What should the CARICOM bloc say when a foreign power is conducting military strikes in our own sea? I want to know what you think. Let me know in the comments below. Is the U.S. justified in bombing these boats? Or is this a dangerous overreach that threatens the entire Caribbean? Like the video, subscribe, and share this with a friend who needs to see the real story behind this shocking regional development. Peace out.